Good evening and welcome to News 360 from the News Hub here in Adesanwe Kanda in Accra. I am Issa Moni.
And I am Portia Gabo. Coming up, the headlines.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by Deluxe Paint, Heaven Black Mosquito Coil and Spray,
Calipo, and Nido Fortigro. Your love, their future.
And in the headlines, only 8 aspirants pick forms to contest NDC presidential primaries as party closes nominations.
Also coming up tonight, Center for Democratic Development CDD hints Ghana loses 10 times monies it makes from aid to corruption.
On Mission tonight, we'll tell you about the joy of having a new school for pupils of King Kelly in the Fiama Busie Issa district after learning under trees for years.
And sport, WBO Super Bantamweight champion Isaac Dogbe set to defend his title tonight against Mexican Emmanuel Navarrete.
In international news later, China demands Canada release the arrested Huawei executive Meng Wanzhou or face consequences.
We have details coming up shortly. Do stay with us.
Stay with us on News 360 as we begin our stories for tonight. Patronizing over-the-counter medication has become a household practice by both young and old, rich and poor, and people from all walks of life. Going to the hospital to see a medical doctor for proper diagnosis is being considered by some people as waste of time and stressful. Our reporter Gifty Ami Zokli has been finding out more about this phenomenon.
Counter medicines are known to be drugs one can buy without a prescription. The number of over-the-counter medications have recently increased as a lot of prescribed medications are being stretched to OCT status. Self-medication also has advantages for healthcare systems as it facilitates better use of clinical skills and increases access to medication. However, self-medication is associated with risks such as misdiagnosis, use of excessive drug dosage, prolonged duration for drug use. Ailments such as heartburn, migraine, period pain, coughs, colds, and acid stomach are commonly treated with non-prescribed drugs. Meet Prince Opoku. He regularly patronizes the pharmacy because he believes pharmacists better appreciate his medical condition.
What I know is pharmacists know the drugs. Yeah, not really more than the doctors, but yeah, they know more than the doctors, if I should say that. There are some conditions the pharmacist will tell you, go see your doctor. Do you get it? So if you refer me, I'll go see my doctor. But if you can treat me, why not? I'll allow you to treat me.
Another patron of over-the-counter medications, Emmanuel Langman, says a pharmacy remains his first option before seeking a doctor's assistance.
Usually for the most common diseases like malaria, typhoid, we know the symptoms. Most of us are aware of the symptoms. So when I start feeling certain symptoms that I think this is likely to be malaria, I just walk to the pharmacy to purchase that OTC for malaria. And when I realize it's not working, then maybe I'll just resort to the hospital. But my first point of treatment will be the pharmacy because of proximity.
They both claim some doctors ignore their concerns and are therefore compelled to purchase drugs over the counter without prescription. A pharmacist at the Biotic Pharmacy, Ignatius Amihere, explained they educate patrons on the need to seek medical advice when their ailment is beyond them. He, however, expressed concern people suffering from sexually transmitted infections mostly patronize over-the-counter drugs.
They can't go to the hospital. Some of them are shy to meet their practitioner, so they tend to come here. They also say that they don't give them listening ears when they go there. So at least when they come to the pharmacy, it becomes an opportunity. They are able to voice out what is wrong with them and they get a listening ear.
Deputy Registrar of Operations at the Pharmacy Council, Dr. Daniel Ameni Dankwa, however, refuted the argument that patronizing over-the-counter medication is a bad practice. The Pharmacy Council also hinted they will be outlining some modalities to serve as guidelines and restrictions on the operations of pharmacists to reduce over-reliance on over-the-counter drugs.
The fact of the matter is that once we are human beings, and there is going to be diseases, there will always be the need for medications use. What the council is going to do come 2019 is to restrict practice. Currently, it is generally perceived that any person you meet in a licensed outlet like a pharmacy or an over-the-counter medicine seller's shop is registered or licensed to practice. But I must say that sometimes the people you meet there are not the licensed practitioners. And so we are going to put in place modalities, guidelines to ensure that if you are not licensed to be in a particular pharmacy, you are never there. So there will be mandatory wearing of name tags, and the name tag will tell the client who you are, your name, and then the category of health personnel that you belong.
The trend in self-treatment is likely to continue, but the council is pledging to continue creating public awareness to reduce over-reliance on over-the-counter drugs.
You're watching News 360 from the News Hub. And Issa, let me ask you this question. Are you feeling the Harmattan?
I wish there was a direct answer to that. But since people are watching us from other parts of Africa, I wish you could drop us a line on how they are feeling about the Harmattan.
Well, in times past, the Harmattan has always ushered in a Christmas mood in Ghana. Obviously, in recent times, the Harmattan set in a couple of days later than usual. Might this be attributed to the alleged climate change? And how will this change in weather pattern impact on general preparedness for the Christmas season? A report by Natalie Ford.
Ghana, the Christmas season is usually accompanied by Harmattan. It's a few weeks to Christmas, but still no sign of Harmattan. According to weather conditions forecasted by the radar, the coastal sectors should see the Harmattan winds come in closer to Christmas Day. But how is this delay in Harmattan going to affect the Christmas fever? The northeast monsoons is no doubt a significant weather pattern in Ghana. The winds blow from December to March, lowering the humidity and causing hotter days and cooler nights, particularly in the northern sector. Senior meteorologist with the Ghana Meteorological Agency, Michael Paddy, explained the winds from the Sahara is much slower than usual, resulting in a delay in the Harmattan setting in Ghana.
The Harmattan has delayed slightly, especially over the southern sector of the country. But over the northern sector, slightly hazy conditions are experienced. By Christmas time, we expect to see slight intensification of the Harmattan over the northern sector, which would bring the minds of people that, well, it is Christmas time.
But does this mean the Harmattan this December will be less severe?
Currently, over the northern sector, visibility is not so bad. One can see about 8 to 10 kilometers away. Towards the Christmas time, we expect it to reduce slightly due to the incursion of the hazy conditions.
I'm currently inside the dome of the radar of the Ghana Meteorological Agency. Now, on the outside, this simply looks like a big white ball. But this radar is what is used to forecast real-time weather conditions in the country. Currently, it shows dryness in the northern sector and cloudiness in the middle and coastal belt. In the capital, the Christmas fever is picking up slowly. Although Christmas decorations are seen hanging in some malls, public facilities, and the central business district, the mood appears slow.
Market is very slow. Things are very bad. When you go and buy stuff, you ask them to reduce it for you. They don't reduce it. And when customers come, they expect you to reduce it before they buy.
Clothing wholesaler at the Central Business District, Richard Kwame Bar, complains in previous years Christmas purchases would have begun by October, November.
At first, Christmas started somewhere August ending. So maybe if I can say we started selling our goods August, September up to December.
Jewelry seller Rosemary Owusu Inti, on the other hand, says the Christmas sales have begun steadily.
By God's grace, it's been very good.
At the Marina Mall at Airport City, an array of Christmas decorations are up. Customer service head at the Marina supermarket, Tina Annan, complains there still hasn't been an influx of customers in line with Christmas.
Ending of November, the place was very busy. But this year, it's not like that.
In spite of the delay and the dry winds from the Sahara ushering in the Hamatan season, December is the month of Christmas, and Christians across Ghana and the world over will be marking the season with opening of gifts and expressions of love. Whether early or late, the Hamatan will soon set in and serve as the icing on the Christmas cake. Natalie Fort, TV3 News, Accra.
It won't be long before we see the Hamatan. The United Nations estimates every year $1 trillion is paid in bribes, while an estimated $2.6 trillion are stolen annually through corruption. The director of CDD, Professor H. Kwesi Prempeh, says corruption costs 10 times more than money Ghana gets in aid, a situation that could only be tackled through a social movement against corruption.
Though there is a general acknowledgement that corruption permeates all aspects of the Ghanaian life, little has been achieved in the fight. Several laws and institutions have been formulated and established in this regard, but the menace still persists. To change this, the Center for Democratic Development, in partnership with other anti-corruption agencies, embarked on a maiden work to kickstart a movement that will change the narrative on corruption. The work was the climax of activities of a 21-day action in the fight against corruption.
Corruption is bad. Corruption is evil. Corruption is murderous. Corruption is injustice. Corruption leads to poverty. Corruption is injurious to society, both in the short, medium, and long term. What we drain through corruption constitute amounts that would have been used in building hospitals, good roads, good schools, that brings comfort to society. Unfortunately, the greed of humanity is drifting from the point of values to point of just wealth.
The director of the Center for Democratic Development, Professor Kwesi Prempeh, said the vulnerable in society are the ones who end up being victims of corruption.
Corruption victimizes mostly the poor, the powerless, the needy in society. Very rarely do the public servants who demand money from you, the police who demand money from you in traffic, or whether it's the Land Commission, anywhere, very rarely do they demand it of people they believe have power.
Legal practitioner and anti-corruption advocate Akoto Ampao noted there was a need for a social movement against corruption.
Corruption is institutionalized in Ghana and permeates all our systems, and therefore to fight it will require a movement from below, a movement of ordinary people who will be uncompromising in fighting against corruption. This is so because I can assure you that the political elite, the parties, they are united in not fighting corruption.
He said the fight against corruption will be in vain if a political funding law is not passed.
Until and unless we look at and ensure accountability in the funding of political parties, all the noise we are making about fighting against corruption will take us nowhere. So in my view, one of the duties of this movement is to look again at how our parties are funded.
The work will be organized each month to press home the need for changing attitudes and fighting corruption.
Let's now focus on the NDC, and 8 out of the 12 aspirants who declared their interest to contest the NDC's presidential primaries were able to pick nomination forms on the final day. 2 of the 4 who could not pick the forms, Eliklim Adbamava and Kojo Bonsu, blamed their inability to continue the race on the short period allocated. They had to meet the set deadlines.
After a petition to the Council of Elders for a reduction of the filing fees, the Council of Elders successfully convinced the party to slash the fee by 100,000 cedis from 400,000 to 300,000 cedis, but maintained the nomination fee at 20,000 Ghana cedis. Out of the 12 aspirants, only 8 were able to pick the forms by close of day, December 8. The 8 are former President John Dramani Mahama, Alban Bagbin, Eccles Piogabra, Sylvester Mensah, Professor Joshua Alabi, Gusitano Alhaji Nuudin Idrisu, and Stephen Atubiga. 2 aspirants, Kojo Bonsu and Elik Blim Agbemava, who earlier protested the 400,000 Ghana cedis filing fee by petitioning the party's Council of Elders, have backed down. Whilst Elik Blim Agbemava has thrown his weight behind the candidate of John Mahama, Kojo Bonsu says he would only support an elected flag bearer after the primaries next year. The party will go to the polls on January 26, 2019 to elect a flag bearer ahead of the 2020 general elections.
And Dr. Kobi Mensah is a political marketer and joins me on the telephone. Good evening, Dr. Mensah, and thanks for your time.
Hi, good evening.
Now, by the close of nominations this evening, all the regular aspirants had picked up their forms to contest. However, the 4 who earlier showed interest have backed down. As a political marketer, do you think they only showed up to market themselves for future ambitions?
Sorry, I can hardly hear you. If you can please up your voice a little.
I was saying by close of nominations, the regular aspirants had picked up their forms, but only 8 out of 12 were able to do so. Now, those who were unable to do so have backed down. Do you think they only showed up to market themselves for future ambitions?
I actually don't, can't get what you're saying, to be honest. I'm actually, walking along the street and...
Okay, let me come again. I was asking, by the close of nominations this evening, only 8 out of 12 aspirants of the NDC had picked up their forms. And I'm asking, the 4 who were unable to do so, did they just show up to market themselves for future ambitions? Or we having difficulty getting through to Dr. Kobi Mensah. You're still watching News 360 from the News Hub.
Well, the former National Security Advisor, Brigadier General Nunu Mensah, has urged the youth to desist from solely depending on the politicians for a living. Speaking on TV3's Current Affairs program, The Key Point, he advised the youth to channel their energy into investing to better their future.
His past political life, former National Security Advisor Brigadier General Nunu Mensah says he never thought of the idea of bribing his way through politics.
We have many needs facing us. The youth, I feel sad about the youth. We are talking about financial political parties. I have stood for election before once and I said never again. never, because I never bribe anybody. That's why I didn't win. I don't believe that if I'm come to serve you, I should bribe you. I don't ever believe. In the military.
How long ago was this?
1996 for the NPP at Winneba. Right. And I will never do it again. Because I didn't understand politics. Coming from the military, if I'm come to put my life down in the military, in this case, to come and save you, and I mean it, when I come to save you, if I should bribe you, I couldn't understand. I couldn't just fathom what that meant to me. And today, we have many means that you can communicate. One is here, radio. How many stations now? Those are the only GBC existed. Now, a lot of them.
A senior lecturer at the Political Science Department of the University of Ghana, Dr. Alidu Seidu, says funding political parties will make them accountable to the state.
When states don't sponsor political parties, it creates a lot of issues. One, it becomes very difficult for the state to enforce regulations that governs how these political parties act. Two, it creates a little bit of what? Unconformity with the way the principles and practices of democracy is organized. State funding of political parties give a little bit of control of the state over the party.
There was widespread condemnation by some flag-bearer aspirants of the NDC, party founder and among a cross-section of Ghanaians, when the NDC announced it was charging 42,000 Ghana cedis as filing and nomination fees. The National Council and the Functional Executive Committee of the National Democratic Congress on Wednesday rescinded their decision to charge presidential aspirants 400,000 Ghana cedis, slashing it down to 300,000 cedis. Party has also extended the sale of nomination forms to Saturday, 8th December 2018.
Let's go back to the phone line and speak to Dr. Kobi Mensah. He is a political marketer. And good evening once again, Dr. Mensah.
Hi, good evening, yes.
Yeah, Dr. Mensah, I was saying 8 out of 12 aspirants had picked their forms to contest the NDC presidential primaries. I'm asking, the 4 who earlier showed interest did back down. Do you think they just showed up to market themselves for future ambitions?
Yeah, I mean, usually when, candidates or when people put themselves forward, there are quite a number of objectives that they seek. One of them is that they want to negotiate, their own status, within the party, party hierarchy. Obviously, when he had picked up a form with the intention of contesting, then you're supposed to be accorded the needed courtesies that are actually accorded people of that status. So you are actually standing on a platform with John Mahama, for example, and then you expect that those courtesies that are extended to such a person will be extended to you. So you enhance your own status within the political hierarchy. Obviously, the next is to sort of put themselves forward for visibility. So therefore, people would accord you, or people would actually know that you have what it takes, for example, to become a party leader going forward. So they create that visibility across the party structures. Then of course the possibility that they could also gain some positions in case the party actually wins elections. So they're negotiating for future prospects, etc. So these are some of the reasons why people put themselves forward as candidates, but then of course back down when the D-Day comes around.
Dr. Mensah, you are a political marketer. So which of the 8 aspirants do you think has really marketed himself for 2020?
You mean which of them?
Yes.
Well, clearly, there are front runners. Obviously, those who have been in the front run, you can talk about Alban Babin, for example. He doesn't necessarily need to call Marxism, per se, because he's been in the front line. Obviously, Spurgaba, everybody knows to talk about, Mohammed himself. There are quite a number of them that are actually in frontline politics, disability in terms of their positions. Now, if you look at somebody like Guzikano, obviously he's been in frontline politics, but he's been a little bit. He's gone down the line, of visibility, if I can say so. So clearly, and then of course his position in the party is somehow, contentious. Putting himself forward, trying to normalize, his relationship with the party folks, was one objective that he would like to, seek. And clearly, having tested the waters in that sense, I'm sure he could be satisfied that perhaps in the next future, when he comes around, he will be, kind of seen as a normal, relationship, as opposed to, the current, relationship that he had with the party. So quite a number of objectives they tend to seek, and I'm sure these ones that I've actually mentioned, nobody needs to actually, tell you that they are really known, within the political circles.
Thank you very much for your time. And Dr. Kobi Mensah is a political marketer.
Some members of the New Patriotic Party in the Ablekuma West constituency are upping arms against their Member of Parliament, Esla Owusu, for neglecting the youth and party members. They contend the Member of Parliament, after winning the 2016 election, has ditched the grassroots of the party.
The group, Nana and Baumia for 2020, who are members of the NPP Ablekuma West constituency, are accusing the MP for the area, Esla Owusu, for neglect. Members of the group undertook a peaceful walk to drum home their concerns. Leaders of the group were unhappy about how the Minister of Communications had denied the grassroots members of the party development.
We are sending a signal to whosoever that they are few and we are many. Yes. This constituency belongs to the grassroots. Yes. We are not going to leave the constituency for an individual. Yes. They should get ready for us. Come 2019 to 2020. Whatever they do, we shall meet them. Yes. We are not going to sit down aloof. We are tired of oppression. Yes. We've been oppressed for too long, and this is the time for liberation.
The youth need the president. He must call the youth to sit us down, because we are encountering a lot of things here that we need to address it. Other than that, we are going to lose this seat. We are serious talking, we are voicing out, because what is going on here, some of us, we are not happy.
They want the president to bring his communications minister back on track. Executives of the Nana and Bawumia for 2020 vowed to campaign to retain the NPP in power.
Let's now go to the Ashanti region, where campaigning for Ghana's election 2020 has started early for some NPP groups in the region. Under the banner Pankrono Adabraka Lovers Association of the NPP, the group has taken the lead to canvass for votes for the ruling party. A report by Benjamin Edu.
The official inauguration of the Pankrono Adabraka Lovers Association of the NPP in Kumasi attracted some leading members of the party in the Ashanti region. The association seeks to mobilize supporters in villages, towns, cities, churches, markets and other places within the region, and to sensitize the public on government policies and programs. The group will also train women and other vulnerable groups in soap making, batik tie and dye, among others, to make them employable. Speakers at the inauguration asked Ghanaians to be patient but have confidence in the president to deliver on electoral promises.
The president has vowed to make Ghana prosper. Although he came to meet a bad economy, he is working hard.
When you look around, you look at the programs the government and the party have for the country and how they have started. It is good.
What I'm telling the Ghanaian populace is that we should rest assured that our party, led by His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, we are going to transform this country and make sure that the resources of this country is evenly distributed for the greater good of this country.
Branches of the association will be established in other parts of the country to make the NPP more attractive than any other political party.
You're watching News 360 from the News Hub, and coming up is Mission. Hello again, it's now time for Mission, and this program is brought to you by Star Ghana with support from UK Aid, Danida and the EU. In our first Mission story, for years, children of Yaru studied under bad conditions. BECE performances kept deteriorating due to the poor building in which pupils studied. Bright Nana Amfo reports after Mission's visit to the community, a new school building now houses pupils. Teachers are happy. Education has received support.
Sometimes you read, but the snake can come with you. The teachers can run out about the snake. The teachers fear the snake before the last 2 weeks. We killed another snake with this in this class. You will be afraid. You can't let. Anytime you see like this and like this, sometimes you might be afraid.
This is Osman Nassif, a final year pupil. That was a story a year ago when we met him at the Yaru Junior High School in Wa East. Studying was a challenge. The school building posed danger to pupils. Poor performance at the BEC was the evidence. Pupils scored very poor grades.
During the rainy season, we find it difficult to teach because looking at the structure, if it is just the sign of raining, we have to just let them close, whether it's time for closing or not, because you see the structure of this building, it can fall down at any time.
Several of them could not continue after junior high school. The community was disturbed. Mission's constant interaction with authorities of Wa East started yielding results.
When I entered the classroom, I realized that any time you happen to have a sign of rain, then it means that the students will have to go home and the teachers too have to vacate the place and leave, because it's actually threatening. If we are there and it is raining, I think you see the kind of dangers that you will be exposed to. I think that one has necessitated this kind of project that we are coming to give to you, so that the students, when they come, they will sit comfortably without any panic of anything.
That was the beginning of a journey of hope. Construction started, and in 4 months, the structure was ready. Pupils of Yaru Junior High School now have a conducive environment to study.
Definition of a speech. The Longman Dictionary of Contemporary English defines a speech as an act of speaking formally to a group of people.
The community has for years been neglected. The education of their children was in jeopardy. All this has changed. Yaru now boasts of a beautiful school structure for its junior high school.
It has impacted us greatly, because as compared to this one, when you are here, you are comfort, you are safe, and then you always concentrate on the students, and then they also put focus on you.
Osman Nassif is now a happy pupil. He promised me excellent grades at the BEC.
The learning is going very good, and the teachers are teaching you no fear in your heart. If at that time you are teaching, but the snakes has deceiving you, because of that, the learning is not being in your mind.
Like his other schoolmates, they are no longer shy coming to school due to the poor building.
I feel happy because the school is building so much. I'm learn hard, and others learn hard, because she feel happy to have a new building.
The assembly says it is committed to improving education in the district. Yaru Junior High School, however, needs more help. The new facility has a library, but it is empty as of now.
I must be frank that the assembly has not taken any steps to provide books for them. But when I went around most of the JHS in the district, I realized that none of them is having any good library. So because of that, we have included provision of library books, reading books and all those things in our 2019 budget.
What is left is for this library to be finished. A beautiful edifice, but without books and furniture. The assembly will take time to finish the library. School authorities and people are asking or appealing to benevolent organizations and the district assembly to come in and finish the library and help them to learn to read and write. Bright Nananfo, TV3, Yaru.
Mission indeed gets results. In other news, for pupils of King Kelly in the Dafiama-Busie Isa district, a new school building means a new beginning. They have for years studied under trees and in dilapidated buildings. Bright Nana Amfo reports this is no more after Mission's advocacy saw the building of a new 3-unit classroom block.
9 M N N I N E.
Good. For years, King Kelly's educational facilities were in poor shape. People studied under trees. This slowed down efforts at improving education.
The structure we are seeing now was actually the efforts of the community members, because they have a lot of kids who were not going to school. And where the nearest school is very far. The kids cannot work there. So the parents, on their own efforts, decided to put up this structure.
Despite the effort by the community, the dilapidated school building was a disincentive. Many children stayed away from school. Community elders made several appeals to the district assembly. What they needed was a school building that will attract children. Mission joined the Kinkele community in the advocacy to have a new school building. This worked magic.
We heard about Kinkele. We came first of all to see what the plight is. Then we put in our 2018 composite budget that we provide them with first time 3-unit classroom block to start with.
In February 2018, after visits by the mission team, the contract was awarded. Construction started immediately with a promise to complete the project in 4 months.
We need sand, cement, iron rods, everything.
You know, all these materials, are you getting them on time that can help you to finish the project?
Yeah, we get anything. We get zinc, nails, everything.
Everything is set for the project.
Yeah.
And so you're sure that in about 3-4 months' time, it will be completed?
Yeah, 4 months that we will completed.
Unfortunately, this site foreman did not live to see the fruits of his hard work. He passed on in a motorbike accident before the project was completed. The community, though sympathizes with the family of the deceased site foreman, were happy their kids can now have a conducive place to learn. The community supported every aspect of work. The hope was to see children in a new school building. 2018 in November, Kinkele's school children now have a new school building.
This building actually it has impacted a lot, as you can see. Now we have enough space, and then the people that are now free compared to the old ones, where the space was limited, and then the floor was not tight. It was just bare like that. Maybe from just Monday, Tuesday, the clothes are dirty. Everything is dirty, and now you can see that they are not fine, and it has teaching and learning.
The children are happy. Their dream of an education that will enable them develop themselves has been fulfilled. The school now has an office for teachers.
A place like Kinkele, who are also deprived, they are also part of Ghana, they are part of the district. And we know we have to let them also have education. Other than that, we will be solving one problem at one place and a problem will still exist at another place, which can finally affect us. And for that matter, we have to help every community that is deprived so that we all be on the same level when it comes to education.
The new facility provides children with enough room space to ensure they study in a clean environment. What is left is to complete a bungalow being funded by the parents for teachers.
Forgive us our trespasses.
Now these kids get ready to close for the day. They are excited. Indeed, for the first time in their lives, they are closing school and their clothes look as new as they brought it in the morning. They have a new environment, a new school building that ensures that when they close from school, they don't look dirty as they looked when they were in that dilapidated structure. This, authorities say, is key in ensuring that education is given the best attention in the district. Bright Nanamfo, TV3, Kinkele.
On that note, that's it for Mission. This program is brought to you by Star Ghana with support from UK Aid, Danida and the EU. We have more news coming up shortly. Do stay with us. Tonight in this segment, after 12 years of Ghana's most beautiful, the Bonafo region is yet to win the enviable crown. Ohima, the region's representative, goes into the 2018 final, hoping to leave a legacy as the first lady to win the prestigious crown for the region.
Most beautiful, we are beautiful.
Ohima, the graduate of the Takrady Technical University, is undoubtedly one of the show's revelations.
So my name is Nana Ekia Ejewahinkai. I hail from Techiman in the Bono Ahafo region. I am a graduate of Takoradi Technical University. I studied tourism management and administration.
The native of Kenton is fun-loving.
I love to listen to music. I love to read and then sometimes swim.
Ohima, the poster girl for determination, has proven to be a strong force to reckon with. The fine talent opened GMB on an impressive note, winning the best evening and casual wear on the fashion night.
For best casual, that goes to Ohima.
Ohima for best casual.
It's a double whammy. I must say that Ohima again.
Oh wow!
Ohima
It's
gets
a night
two.
for Ohima.
She came back much stronger to steal the show, grabbing the star performer in week 3, 5 and 11. After 12 years of GMB, the Bonahafo region stands as the only region without a crown. The proud ambassador is saddled with the huge responsibility of winning the crown for the first time for her region. Ohima hopes to rise up to the occasion.
The thought of that, does it put pressure on you?
No, it doesn't. It makes me stronger. It makes me want to prove my worth. Challenges are meant to strengthen your bones and then keep you going. So that's how I've taken it, as a challenge. And I need to prove how wealthy I and my region are.
The wannabe queen goes into the final confident of leaving a legacy.
What does winning the GMB crown mean to you, Ohima?
We all know that this crown or platform is a very enviable one. And with the position I am in, it's historic. Sometimes I feel like when I win, it makes me feel like I'm leaving a legacy. That, yes, Bonahafo has also won Ghana's Most Beautiful too.
Who amongst them is your threat?
I'll say Wekia. Sometimes she's surprising. As a performer, you should look out for the surprises, what you're not expecting. So I'll say Wekia.
Poised to make a difference at the GMB finals, she looks forward to massive support from her fans to emerge tops.
Now what dream dear? Hunina, Hunfa shame, Nayanto, Emma Ohima, na Nyamea Duma, Afi, Ahinchain, Emra Bonahafo money.
How are you? Now, Kaswada 2's Park was literally lit up as TV3 hosted thousands of music fans at the Music Comeback concert. Patapa, aka Patapizi, Article 1, Tiny, Evangelist Ening were among showstoppers who thrilled revelers at the Music relaunch. Here are the excerpts.
Break. The good old entertaining music show, Music is back. The show offered a platform for underground, fast-rising artists who took turns to warm up the charged crowd gathered at the Kaswada 2's Park. Proving that he's still got some moves, Badman Tiny took the charged crowd back into time, performing some of his good old classic hit songs. Ohima Dadao, Article 1 and others injected some unparalleled energy into the show with well-laced punchlines and bars. The leader of the Patupa soldiers, Patapa, held the audience spellbound with some dance moves on stage, performing popular songs like Patupa, Wankona, Akwaba and others.
Definitely one of the greatest entertainment shows on television, music. It's good to be back. Thanks for watching News 360 tonight. I'm Isa Moni.
And I am Portia Gabo. Enjoy the rest of our programs.